Join Gator great Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It is a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios, the only diamond and jewelry partner of the Florida Gators. We got a lot to talk about today. We'll have JC as normal on a Monday. We all have James Bates, former Gator painter, you name it. We'll discuss the Thursday event at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill where they're going to unveil Todd Golden's portrait in the champions room there of the national championship coaches that Batesy paints. Maybe we'll get Batesy to paint a picture of you, JC.
I think he has once before when I was
of you
when I was steering a boat. Yes, he was supposedly take a picture of me steering a boat. We won't go into that. QB, I sat next to Todd on the flight back last week from Chicago, and I wished him a happy birthday. He was very pleased that I did that on Delta Airlines. Yeah, and he was on a golf trip. He went on a golf trip a week ago.
Oh Lord, can a coach have a hobby?
Yeah, he had a golf. He
does like to play golf. I see him down in Adena.
Yeah, he played golf, and you ought to go over there and throw a little 10 and 5 at him, QB. See if he's up for it.
We'll see what his handicap. See if he wants. Speaking of that, I got to congratulate my man, Coach JC Deacon.
Oh yeah,
he won the Florida Open for the third time.
How about that?
He came from 5 shots back. Nice little payday for JC. I think he won 15 or 20 grand. So
there you go. What course were they at? Where
somewhere down south. It's a 3-day tournament. I think he shot 14 or 15 under. I can't remember, but it's a lot of pros like Ted Potter, all these guys playing. It's called the Florida Open.
Yeah.
It's the third time he's won it. I think only one other person's ever won it 3 times, but we got him ready. Our group got him ready to go down there and compete, JC. That's what we do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank God for your group. I mean, you guys, you should be like the practice squad for the game.
I mean, we get people ready to compete.
You guys should
competing, JC.
You guys should be the practice squad. Like
we got to get some competitive juices in you. Speaking of competing, there ain't nobody in the world that can compete against Scotty Scheffler. JC, I had 3 players to finish in the top 10. You had 2, so we had a good week picking. I'm telling you. So statistically, some things here for all our world people around the world that like to talk golf, whether they like it or not, they're going to hear about it. Because now there's this big debate about him and Tiger, right? So
similarities.
So three-year stretch in 81 events for Scotty, 79 for Tiger. Scotty has won 20 times. Tiger's won 79. They both have 4 majors. Scotty has 2 Players Championships. Tiger had none. I don't think there's any way you can compare it. I think Scotty goes about his business totally different than Tiger. He has that nonchalant, chilled composure. But nobody will convince me or can convince me that Scotty Scheffler is not beating better players on tour than what Tiger did.
Well, yeah, the way I look at it is that they both have a mentality that I don't know if anyone else on tour had when he played and then now when Scotty's playing. And, you know, in a complimentary way, Scotty Scheffler plays about the most boring golf you'll ever watch. He is just so systematic.
Because he's so dialed in, and he is the best player I've ever seen at his distance control.
Yeah.
And Bryson DeChambeau is one of the best players in the world. He can't control his golf ball. He didn't know where the hell it's going. Scotty does.
Well, I'll say 2 things. As far as DeChambeau goes, from round 2 to round 4, he was 16 under. So he was either the best or the second best player on the course in rounds 2 through 4. DeChambeau shot 65, 68, 64. He was 16 under in 3 days after +7, 78 on round 1. So Bryson gets a top 10 finish, which I was very happy about. But one of the stats that I found to be absolutely just stunning was that Tiger Woods went 1,197 days from winning his first tournament, first major to his fourth. And yesterday, Scottie Scheffler went 1,197 days from winning his first major to his fourth. And when they asked him about it in the interview room, he just looked at the reporter and said, "Oh, okay, that's great, but I don't really care about that."
Yeah,
the thing about Scheffler is that he went something like 77 tournaments without a win. And since then, he's gone the next 77 or 8 tournaments and won 4 majors, 16 tournaments, 2 TPCs, like you said, a bunch of other tournaments like the Heritage and just a number of other ones. And, the way he puts it out there is like, all right, up next is Memphis. And it's just incredible how well he performs his job. It is, 2 majors in 1 year, QB, is just a spectacular season. And there's no doubt in my mind that at some point the U.S. Open will complete his career Grand Slam.
Yeah. Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel Law. For us non-golfers, how improbable was that shot that Roy executed on top of another ball Saturday on the 11th hole? Well, Roy didn't know it was there. It was, I believe it or not, I have seen that. I've never done it personally, but some people in my group, you're sitting in the cart and they hit their shot and then boom, a ball pops up out of the ground. I have seen it before. It's just an old ball that got buried, got mowed over.
Yeah.
Pretty bizarre though. Greg wants to know, do we wear white long pants and a white belt when you go golf? No. If you wear long pants in the state of Florida playing golf, you will die. Scotty didn't have the only person that had white pants on, I believe, was Terrell Hatton. Scotty had khaki pants on. I check out everybody's apparel for sure. Some other news and notes, JC. I don't know if you saw this because I know you're a huge fan.
I am.
Did you watch a lot of the WNBA All-Star game last night?
I don't watch that.
I don't either.
To me, it's roller derby.
You had to have seen the shirts they were wearing, right?
No, I don't watch it, dude.
JC, I don't watch it either, but you look at Twitter.
I do. But
so you're trying to tell me not one person on your entire Twitter feed didn't have a picture of what they were wearing, these T-shirts, saying, "Pay us what we deserve."
Oh, I did see Caitlin Clark wear a black shirt that says, "Pay us what you owe us," or something.
I don't think it wasn't her idea to wear this because she's making a lot of money.
Yeah, she's doing fine.
Not there, but her endorsements makes her about 30 million, I think.
Yeah.
It just drives me insane. If they would just let her be the star of the league, which she's already taken care of a majority of them by getting chartered flights and all that stuff, and just shut the hell up. The league has never made any money.
No, it's not a self-sustaining league, maybe until now, but it wasn't before she came in. And what I just can't stand watching is the cheap shots. I can't stand the jealousy. It just shows that some of these women, as much as they compete, don't know how to win or lose or how to really compete even with that going on. To me, it's unfortunate the way they treat her, the officiating, the coaches, these other players. Angel Reese complaining about she can't afford a house payment or some kind of garbage. I'm just not into it. Something about these LSU players, I think it's from that coach Mulkey or whatever her name is. It just is such a turnoff, dude. I got no interest. Zero.
Yeah, I have zero interest in it. And they have the most dominating player I've ever seen in women's basketball.
They don't care.
And they don't care.
They don't care.
That's my 2 cents on that. Yeah, we'll not talk about it.
It's a waste of time.
Kevin on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, says he thinks Scotty is more naturally talented than Tiger. It's hard to compare. I will just say this. I've already said it, and I'm not going to say it again.
We can't forget about the greatness of Tiger Woods in 2020.
Right, but here's the thing about Tiger.
Nobody had a year like that.
Here's the thing about Tiger is Tiger used to get in trouble and they hit miraculous shots.
Yeah,
I think that's what people love. Scotty doesn't do that.
No, he doesn't get in trouble. He double bogeys number 8 yesterday, comes right back with a birdie. It's just like nothing happened. And I still, after he double bogeyed 8, had no doubt, zero doubt, he was going to win. So thank God they have a market called Win Without Scheffler. And I was able to jump on that. And that saved me a little bit of money, but overall, I lost money on this tournament because I did not bet Scotty Scheffler with his lousy odds, and that's exactly what they wanted, and they got what they wanted, so they beat me this weekend. But Wyndham Clark comes out of nowhere and gets me a top 5 finish. I had him to win top 5, top 10. That helped a lot. And then DeChambeau, the top 10, that helped a lot. And then on the win without Scheffler, I had Harris English and I had Gator up, and Gator up was winning until Harris English birdied 16 and 17 and killed me. So, those are great markets. It keeps you interested. At least it kept me interested, because seriously, watching Scotty Scheffler walk a golf course is not my idea of a great time. He's just
he's so dominant.
He's great.
I saw a stat too, which is just, it blows your mind. On 10-foot and under putts this weekend, he was 59 of 63.
It's unbelievable. And, he's got 2 grips, QB. He's got 2 grips. He has 2 grips. He grips the putter differently when he putts from a distance than he does when he's close. He does the claw when he's inside of 10 feet. Outside of 10 feet, he grips it traditionally.
Maybe you need to try that, JC.
Well, maybe. But I found that to be interesting too, is that he uses 2 grips as he putts. And, he has worked on his putter. And I think that's why, it's kind of like Chris DeMarco. His career was saved as a professional because he changed his putting grip. And now you look at what Scotty's doing with his putting. You just announced an amazing statistic. That is incredible to putt that well inside of 10 feet. The odds are still against you, even inside of 10 feet. And it's automatic right now. And the greens were perfect. I mean, they did a great job at Port Rush. But that course seemed easy without weather, man. Without weather, those guys were not having a whole lot of issues. I didn't feel like they were.
No. Kevin says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, I lived through the whole Tiger Woods experience. I love Tiger. I have his Sportsman of the Year, Sports Illustrated picture framed in my office. I love the guy. He goes, but Scotty just seems a little more fluid. I agree with that. I mean, I know it's hard to compare. It's the whole Jack to Tiger. I may have watched 3 rounds when I was a kid when Jack Nicklaus was on CBS with my dad, but I don't remember it. I just don't remember anybody doing what Scotty Scheffler's doing against the field. That's the difference.
Well, okay, fine, but winning majors is still winning majors.
I agree, but he's not playing Bob May. He's not playing Rocco Mediate. I mean, seriously.
Back in those days, there were great golfers back then too.
Ian Baker Finch. Okay.
I mean, I have to go back 25 years to even think about that. But in 2000, I don't know if anybody had the year in history that he had. And not only that,
the difference is Tiger was more athletic and in better shape and stronger than all the other guys. Everybody on tour now took Tiger's approach, and that's what they are. Greg says, back to the WNBA on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melon. Do you know what Caitlin Clark's yearly salary is? I think it's $78,000, but she makes like $30 million off the court. Andy asks, is it safe to say that Devin Manuel is no longer a Florida Gator after his arrest on Friday night? Speed, weed, and a loaded gun. Don't know the answer to that, Andy. We'll find out, I guess.
What an idiot. I don't mind saying that either. He is an idiot. But it's, look, that's just depth on the offensive line that Florida's going to miss now. They don't need stories like this. Nobody does.
He's a backup, JC.
I don't care. You got to have depth, QB.
Well, a lot of people will tell you the Gators are back when we start getting people arrested.
I don't like those stories, man. That sounds like a Georgia Bulldog story.
Or the Gators back when we were winning.
Well, yeah. I mean, you remember 06 and 08, that 2008, 2009 teams, those teams were loaded. A lot of issues, though, off the field. But anyway, they won.
All right. Gator guy on the Titan MR text line says, Scotty's the best golfer I've seen in the last 10 to 15 years. British Open was not really even a contest after the second day, and he's only 29. In terms of ball strikers, Scotty, Tiger, and Jack are the 3 best I've seen, and nobody comes close.
Yeah. And, the other thing about Tiger I'm going to mention to you, QB, is he's got something like 80, 87, 86 overall wins. Think about that on tour, winning that much on tour. Also, there's another little golf nugget I want to share with everybody that's local. and there's a kid on the Corn Ferry Tour named Chandler Blanchett.
Yeah, he finally got a win.
He got a win. He's likely going to get his tour card now, and you'll see him at the TPC next year, and that is a tremendous story.
Does that automatically a win on the Corn Ferry get you on tour? I don't think it does it?
No, he's got to be ranked in the top something, but I think he is clearly points-wise with this win very easily going to qualify and get his card. And what's wonderful about that is that he's a birdie maker. He's one of the most aggressive players you'll ever see. Big numbers on some holes, little numbers on other ones, but he's a Buchholz Bobcat.
Yep.
Again, a Buchholz representing professional sports, and I think we're going to see Chandler Blanchett from Gainesville, Florida, on the PGA Tour. That's
Who are the other ones that are representing professional sports?
Well, QB, you put me on the spot, but I can go as far back.
The reason I said that is because you made it act like they were just flowing in.
I'll go as far back as Vernon Maxwell, the great Florida guard. If you want me to start with that?
No, we're good. Electronics World Integration Design Specialist for Smart Home Automation and Entertainment, affordable local installation service and support. Check them out. electronicsworld.net. Josh from Wamama on the Titan Mar text line. QB, did you ever hang out with your center and other offensive linemen during the season or even outside the season? Any good story? Yes. I used to take my linemen. I hung out with them in Yon Hall all the time, and we would go every Sunday to Sonny's on Archer Road.
Yeah.
And I would buy them all you can eat. Back then it was like $4.99 all you can eat. And I had to scrounge around a bunch of money to pay for their food, but those jokers ate a lot.
Isn't it amazing how back in your day you scrounged for money and today it falls in their lap?
Yeah. I mean, guys used to go beg for quarters through Yon Hall to go downstairs to put in the washing machine to wash your clothes.
Wow. Well, you know
now
what?
they got people doing their laundry and bringing it to them.
And
it's crazy.
Evidently at the University of Memphis, they got the softball team doing
taking tests for the football team.
Taking tests for the basketball team.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, I got a bunch of texts over the weekend, JC, because during the SEC media days, you media boys used to always do the polling, first team, second team, third team,
right.
Who's going to win the conference. Well, the Gators came in 6th in the conference.
Yeah.
And then we had 2 offensive linemen on first team, no DJ. So basically I guarantee you I have 30 texts on the Titan Mar text line regarding how can the media not say that DJ Lagway is one of the all SEC preseason quarterbacks? I would tell all our listeners that text me this, who cares, right? Just because the media doesn't have him on first, second, or third team, who cares? If they had him first team, I ain't going to make you win any games, right? He will play well, and he still may not be, right? Because it was Lennar Sellers 1, Garrett Nussmeier 2. Who was 3? Oh, Arch Manning. So,
well, maybe some folks are just like, okay, he's played 7 games his entire career. Let's give him I don't know.
Right, but I mean, Arch hasn't played that many. But my point is, who cares?
Who cares? Well, this is kind of why we have these magazines and whatnot with stuff like this.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of a primer to the season. Try to give you some insight on what's coming up, and it's only 40-something days to go, so it's just over a month away. And hopefully, weather won't be an issue in September like it has been in the past, and hopefully, we'll get through it and play these games when they're supposed to be played on Saturday. We've had, I know there's been a couple of years where we've had weather get in the way of these games, and with hurricane warnings and crap like that. As I sit here, I look at this range that's gushing down. I spent 3 days in St. Johns County here recently, and it was like Africa. I might as well have been in Libya. It was so hot and sunny, and here I am back in Vietnam. It's truly unbelievable. There's something about this area. They're planting seeds up in the clouds. Something's going on, QB. It's just ridiculous to me. unbelievable.
Text on the Titan Mart text line from Daryl's. JC, your Yankees took 2 out of 3 from the Braves. I don't know
Damn
if
right.
Atlanta's going to make the postseason.
They're
Glad you
not.
picked up former Clay High pitcher and Gator.
They're not. Atlanta just doesn't have the offense, and the pitching is spotty. They're not as good a team. That's okay. Sometimes it works out that way. They're just not the team. But baseball's going to be interesting as well here in a couple of months. If you follow it, I do, and I think we're going to have a pretty good. Again, I love Houston in the American League. If I had to pick a winner, and right now the Dodgers are a little shaky. They're a little wobbly, so I think the National League is wide open. I don't know about the Dodgers. They're not healthy. Their pitching is spotty. Kershaw is nothing like he used to be, and I don't know if Yamamoto is good enough to win it for him. Max Muncy is not in the lineup. He's hurt as well. So the Dodgers are just an average team without these players, just like everyone else. Injuries. Here we go. Injuries are just such a part of sports. It changes so many things, and you're either lucky or you're not. And hopefully Florida will be lucky this year with the injuries.
Very true. Baron 71 had a question here on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing, and he's incorrect. I'll let you answer. Is the SEC school JC dislikes the most at Tennessee? Asked because he's a Bama Gator fan.
No,
it's the LSU Fighting Tigers.
No, it is the Auburn Fighting Tigers. And
well, yeah,
LSU, I mean, Alabama owns LSU. They have no problem with LSU. Florida has finally stopped the losing streak to LSU here in the last 6 years with a big win last year. I still think it's amazing that Florida had the ball 1/4 the amount of time that LSU did, and they still won by double digits. That to me was amazing. That was an amazing game. I know everybody talks about the Ole Miss game as being probably the most dramatic game last year, and it probably was. But coming off that Texas game, I thought the LSU game last year was the one game that I think stands out for me the most.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA Credit Union. We're a proud member, Stephen Orr Spurrier Banks. 1985 British Open, Royal St. George.
Yeah.
Scotsman Sandy Lyle wins his only Open by 1 stroke over runner-up Payne Stewart. Here's the interesting about this, JC. I was not aware of this. You learn all kinds of stuff on this program. That was the last time that the British Open had a double cut. They cut after 36 holes and after 54 holes.
I did not know.
I did not know that.
No, I did not know. I will tell you, though, that tournament brings out some of the strangest winners. Ben Curtis, Paul Lowry, Sam Torrance, Paul McGinley. It's just like.
What do you got, JC? Was that lightning?
Maybe I should get out on the porch.
Was that lightning?
Yeah, hell yeah, it was. Dogs losing their mind over here. But those guys that I just mentioned to you, dude, they just come and they go. You never. Where's Paul Lowry? Where's Ben Curtis? Where are some of these guys that won the British Open that you never heard of?
Remember Jean-Claude Vandevelde that he had it won and he dumped it into the creek? Or the burn, I should say.
In the Barry Burn.
The burn.
By the way, I parred that whole TV just so you know. I made a 4. Yes, I did.
Right. Andy asked on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, did you see that Trump is threatening restrictions to Washington's new stadium if they don't go back to the Redskins? I mean, people know how I feel about these silly nicknames because I have a lot of Cherokee Indian in me, and I think it's totally. I think it's ridiculous that we do not have the Redskins, we don't have the Indians, we do not have the Marquette Warriors, we do not have the St. John's Redmen, we don't have the Syracuse Orangemen. I think it's ridiculous. I'll leave it at that.
Well, I'm going to show you something that I'm not going to show you exactly what you sent me, but the one after that was, well, let me get it. I've got to show you this before I evacuate from this electrical storm I'm sitting under for some stupid reason. But right here, tell me why. That's allowed on this side, but the other one is not.
It's so dumb.
It's too political for me. I'm moving the old show indoors, QB.
Are you nervous, JC?
Well, it's a little too tight for old.
You're not any safer indoors than you are outdoors.
What are you talking about? I'm not. I better be. If I'm not, then we're all doomed. Okay, here we go.
All right. Well.
Oh my God. That was too close for comfort.
Ultra Gator wants me to answer his question on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum. What do you guys think the starting 3 wide receivers will be for the Gators this year? They're going to rotate them. They may start the game, but I don't even know the answer to that. Quite
How
honestly.
about I'll just throw out the Wilsons and Sturdivant. Oh no, I'll go with Brown. How's that?
Well, the 2 Wilson. It depends on the personnel grouping.
Well, he didn't ask that. He just said who's going to be out there starting on the first game.
Barone says Sturdivant, Trey Wilson, and Khalil Jackson. He had another knee surgery. There's no way he's starting.
Okay, so I'm going with
he wouldn't have started over those other guys anyway.
Yeah, I'm going with the 2 Wilsons and Brown. How's that? I don't know.
I'm going with Aiden Mizell, Sturdivant.
Oh,
I'm going with those 2 guys. If we're in 12 personnel, if we're in 11 personnel, I'm going Mizell, Trey Wilson, and Sturdivant. I haven't even seen them practice, but that's what I'm going by right now. I'll let you know in a couple weeks. Not that it matters. But I do like our wide receiver room.
hell yeah. And I like the running back room too, by the way. I'm a big fan of that. I think he's got a chance to score upper 30s, low 40s as many times as he wants to. I really think so if they stay healthy, but they may allow a lot to him.
We got a chance.
We got a chance. I think if you can score points, you always have a chance, right, QB?
Yeah, there's no question. Monty wants to know if I've gotten in touch with the band director. I have not, Monty. I haven't even looked into it, quite honestly. I've kind of been busy. And he told you to get off the porch, idiot.
The idiot just moved into the kitchen. Wait, who said that? I like that. Who was that?
Monty. Monty's the one that started the Gator Bait chant. Remember I told you?
Good for you, Mommy.
He lives up in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Stay on it, Monty, up in Lynchburg, Virginia. Beautiful place.
So,
yeah.
All right, JC.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything else for the program today?
I do, but it bores the hell out of you. So I won't worry about it. But listen, we're going into the 4th quarter baseball season. I'm excited about that. We're getting ready for football practice. Very excited about that. Golf season is officially over now for me, but I know the Tour Championship's coming, and they all like to rush for that big that big paycheck. Why? Whatever. Don't care really about that. And Scotty Scheffler's the golfer of the year, the champion golfer of the year, but he's also, in my mind, the golfer of the year this year with what he's done this year. It's truly amazing the way this guy puts together these tournaments and how he's just changed his whole career after a very slow start in his career. We did not look at Scotty Scheffler the same way until he just started, of course, knocking off everybody. So I thought that was spectacular. And now golf season's over, basically, for me. A Ryder Cup is coming. I will say that's going to be very interesting up at Bethpage Black.
I have a hard time getting into the Ryder Cup because it's during football season.
Nah, that's my problem with it too. Maybe the team you follow doesn't have a big game on that weekend, and you can kind of go over it. But I like watching. See, QB, you and I are kind of the same in this area. We watch all of the games. I want to watch every single game. I'm just as interested. No, I can't say that, but I'm very interested in watching, let's say, Auburn play some non-conference team, or Tennessee playing UCLA, or Ohio State playing, somebody like Texas. That is very interesting to me. I'm
speaking of non-conference. Before we get you out of here, I saw I screenshot this off Twitter. The toughest non-conference schedules. I don't know if this is in order, but listen to me here before we get you out of here. Baylor, Miami, TCU, Duke, Clemson, Syracuse, Kent State, Ohio, Tulane, the Gators, the semis.
Jeez. Wow, some of those
I wonder who Baylor plays out of conference because they at the top.
Yeah, there is a big game against Baylor. It's Auburn. Auburn is playing at Baylor to start the season. That's the first game, I think. That just sounds good to me. Whether or not it's a good game, I don't know. But that sounds very interesting to me.
And they said Miami's got the second hardest non-conference schedule. I know they play Notre Dame and Florida.
Yes.
That's probably it, though, right?
I'd have to pull it up.
Yeah.
We can all do that. But the schedule that Florida has and that many of these SEC teams have are all ranked highest in terms of difficulty because of the conference, but also because of who they're playing out of conference, in spite of an FCS opponent. It seems like every SEC team has an FCS opponent on the schedule. Florida does to open the season, but all of them do at some point in the year. I'm glad to get it over with early in the year instead of playing one in November. And eventually, I think this conference will go to 9 games. That will pretty much eliminate that game. And I think they're going to do it because of what the Big Ten and the SEC eventually agree on in terms of the playoff format. When we get to that format, then we'll see probably 9 conference games. But the SEC doesn't want to play 9 conference games and have a scheduling disadvantage. But the Big Ten, I said that wrong. The Big Ten doesn't want to have 9 conference games and have a scheduling disadvantage against the SEC, and there are 8 conference games. That's been the hang up on this 4-4-2-2-1, whatever it is format. So when they figure that out, then we'll know whether or not the league's going to 9 games. But QB, to me, if you have 16 teams in your league, you do not have a conference if you only play 8 conference games, in my opinion. You have to play 9 to get that rotation and create more familiarity with the other schools in the conference that you don't play in an 8-team schedule. So 8-game schedule. So I hope it happens. I do. I'm not afraid to play 9 games in the SEC. The league does it, though, for scheduling advantages, to get in the playoffs, to get seeding, and so on and so forth. That's what I've read.
All right, JC, we're going to take a timeout and then get Batesy on here to talk about his paintings. Have a good day.
That sounds great. Thank you.
JC, join us on the Titan No More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Town. Take a quick timeout, come back. We'll be joined by James Bates. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union,
International Diamond Center,
Meldon Law, QC Kinetics, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, JF Hayden Craft Liqueurs, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Los Linderos Tequila. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sporting Goods, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteak, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Sign, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Nest and Wow, MG&A Wealth Management. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor, call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football. Let's go. We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand. We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers and go Gators.
Oh, all the way from the North Pole. It's me, Santa Claus. Oh, I'm here with my friend Steve Spurrier for an amazing Christmas in July offer.
Spurrier's Gridiron gift cards are on sale for 20% off.
Coach, how do they get them?
You can go to Spurriers.com and order a digital card or stop by my restaurant in Celebration Point and pick some up today.
Thanks for being my holiday helper in July, Coach. Hurry, this special Christmas in July offer is for this month only. Ho, ho, ho.
Coach, you know what always impressed me? How you beat Florida State to win the 1996 national championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
You know, you won more SEC championships than you lost home games at the Swamp.
And you had plenty of super games in front of our Gator Nation.
Yeah, there really is something special about the Swamp.
I guess that's why we say about the Swamp, only the Gators get out alive.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, 100% agave, Los Linderos tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
I think you mean Head Beer Coach 1966 lager, a crisp, light, bodied lager for easy drinking.
Nope, Los Landeros Tequila, smooth enough to drink neat, bold enough to elevate a cocktail.
1966 lager, enjoyed on game days in the fall or whenever you need a winning cold brew.
Los Landeros Tequila.
1966 lager.
Los Landeros.
1966 lager.
Y'all stop bickering.
Okay, you're both wrong anyway. The best thing Spurrier's Gridiron Grill offers are Jerry's famous chocolate chip cookies.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Gallo Car Wash is locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Join our membership and see why Gators hate love bugs. This guy hates love bugs where he lives. Former Gator and artist James Bates joins the program. What's up, Batesy? How you doing, my man?
But I love hate bugs. I'm doing good, Shane. It's good to be on with you. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Absolutely. Well, Thursday night at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. If people have never been there, there's a room, I think it's called the Champions Club, where you have done all these paintings of the national championship coaches, and they will be unveiling the portrait of Todd Golden. My question to you, how long does it take you to paint one of those?
Gosh, I don't even know, because everybody always asks me that. And these portraits are maybe not quite as detailed. And then the background and the frame, Hector up at Hector Framing, he always frames them for me. So I usually do my own frames, but I don't even have to do that. So I can't focus long enough on one piece, so I'm usually working on about 2 or 3 at a time. Mm-hmm. So I can't really answer that honestly, exactly how long it takes me to finish one start to finish. But I don't know. I guess if I had to say, and if I had to sit down and just do it, lock in, about 3-4 days, probably. But I like the way this one came out. Coach Golden was a good one to paint, and it sure was a fun run. And it's getting kind of crowded up there in the champions room now. Yeah,
it is. So how many are up there now that you've done?
Gosh, what was it? I want to say it was 18 before JC. So this might be 20.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I think it's about 20. But I was trying to get Freddie. Remember when we were little growing up, and Burger King and McDonald's always had those sweet Star Wars glasses? Do they have those in Pascagoula, Shane? You know what I'm talking about?
We didn't have a McDonald's in Cleveland, Mississippi, or Pascagoula. But other than that, I think we had a Sonic.
Okay, if you guys didn't have a McDonald's, did you have a McDonald's though?
No, we call it McDonald's in Mississippi.
I know, I was just messing with you. But I was telling Freddie that we should do a run of those glasses with each coach, and like do a new one each week, like they used to at McDonald's with the Star Wars glasses in the 80s.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I do remember that. Bates, we have a question here on the Titan MR text line from Jim. He wants to know, what is the most amount of money one of your paintings has gone for?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. I did like an entire room, so it was like 3 pieces, and that was about like $20,000. Which is it just blows my mind that I just feel so fortunate, so blessed that I can create, because I've always had this bug in me and this itch to just, draw and create. And I always joke that I should have taken art in college, because that's all I was doing, is mostly sitting there drawing pictures and stuff when I, in a non-art class, should have been paying attention. But yeah, and, so I would say that kind of the biggest project wise would be something like that. And, I try, because some of the bigger pieces that I just am so proud of, I know that I couldn't quite afford my own art. So I try to kind of cover all levels. So if somebody wants a piece of my art, I want them to have it. So I try to take care of them with prints or something like that. If they're not looking for a big piece, but I just think it's the coolest thing in the world that I can create things to make people think that, oh, this will make my house better or my spouse happy. And I love it. I love it. I'm getting ready to go and start working today. Actually, I'm working a guy whose daughter recently graduated from Auburn. I did a really cool piece on Toomer's Corner.
Oh, yeah.
And then he has a couple other kids. One went to Oklahoma and one went to Ohio State, and he's commissioned me to do a piece for each of them. They're getting ready to graduate, so it's kind of fun to branch out and do a few things like that. But it's, I mean, just these things that are so cool, and a lot of times circling around college sports and the like all the toilet paper on Toomer's Corner and all that is OU. I had a my big Boz piece that I painted for myself a couple birthdays ago. I was like, well, if he really wanted this Boz piece, I could give him this Brian Bosworth piece, but it'd be tough to get rid of that one.
Yeah, I bet. Where's that painting you did of me many, many years ago? Do you have any idea where it's at these days? Who bought it?
Let's see. I think I've done 2 of you, and I don't remember who bought that. But I remember I actually did that one. A lot of times when we used to go to swim meets for our daughters, and we'd get there for like 5 days. And so the downtime in the hotel room, I'd pack up my paints and a board. And I painted that first Shane Matthews piece in San Antonio, right above the Riverwalk, while we were at a swim meet out there. And I don't remember where that one went, but the other one that I just did recently, where you had the Pascagoula area code on your eye black, I donated to Johnny Townsend's foundation before the spring game. So I donated it there, and they auctioned it off. So I don't know where that one ended up either.
I just remember that first one that you did. My arms were so skinny. It was hilarious how skinny you made my arms in that picture.
I know it was so unrealistic, but I didn't want to make them skinnier.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of swim meets, Andy on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, says, Batesy, what's yours and Talia's take on Penn stripping Leah Thomas of her swimming titles and issuing an apology? Does it seem to be enough?
Oh, wow. Well, it's interesting that all those teammates that are finally kind of feeling the courage to come out and talk how they really felt. That was, we were there at NCAAs, and, that year, and it was, I thought it was going to be kind of rough, but it was like until you kind of saw it in person, it was just such a punch to the gut for all these other swimmers. I mean, there were, people make a big deal about Riley Gaines and that race, but when you look at the ripple that it creates, like Talia, every event she swam at NCAAs this year, Leah Thomas was in it. And, there was a girl, Mabel Zavaros, was the last girl out, I believe. So they take so many to NCAAs and the next one. So she would have gone to NCAAs, but she didn't go to NCAAs. And it's, because Leah Thomas is there. And then there's, just so many other examples that just hit home with the Gators alone. One girl finished 9th in an event. And if you finish in the top 8, you're an All-American. So she wasn't considered an All-American. And, and it's just stuff that you hear about the one race especially, but you don't hear about all the others that are affected. So I'm glad to see that they did come out and say, hey, that this wasn't quite right, because it wasn't. It was not right. It really was tough to watch.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Text on the Titan Mark text line from Joe. Joe wants to know, Batesy, where do you do your painting at? Are you still doing some broadcasting, or are you still teaching at UF?
Is Joe in town? Because he hasn't called me.
I don't know where Joe lives.
I don't know which Joe it is. Well, Joe, thanks. Well, we live in Yulee now. We moved over by Fernandina, home to Derrick Henry. It's where Derrick Henry grew up and went to high school, and they've got big statues honoring him when you come into town, and justifiably so. So we live up here, and I have a studio at my place, and I still teach this. I think it might be my 18th semester, I think, of teaching this class at UF. For those that don't know, it's a play-by-play on-air talent class, and I love this class, and I'll drive as long as I have to go teach it, as long as they'll have me. And last semester, Shane, Danny's son was in my class. Jonah was in there.
Oh, wow.
And Sam McCorkle's niece was in there. Like,
oh, wow.
getting
You're
up.
old.
Yeah. We had Sammy join us on Zoom. So yes, I teach my class still, and it's a blast, and we get in there and we get better, and I'm really proud of that. And my art, I don't update my website quite like I should, but I just kind of push it through Instagram a lot when people want to get a hold of me. That's probably the best way to go about it. But thank you, Joe.
Batesy, what's your favorite Coach Spurrier painting that you've done? I think I have an idea, but let the listeners know which one's your favorite. Or favorite saying that you put on the painting, I should say.
Yeah, I think I've been trying to get Freddie to get this big Spurrier piece that I have. Billy Napier commissioned me a couple years ago to do a big one for the office there, and I did one. And while I was doing that one, I did one very similar to that, because it was just I was really excited about doing it. So I have that one, and I'm pretty sure that I'm taking it up there to hang there at Spurrier's for a while. Starting this Thursday. So stay tuned for that. But I think it has to be, Shane. It's just because it's one of, I didn't grow up around Florida. My dad was a coach forever but coached everywhere but Florida. I didn't know anything about the Florida-Georgia rivalry when I got here. The first game I ever saw in the Swamp was one I played in. And so it's just, it wasn't something that I, had Florida State on my mind. For me, it was Tennessee, because I ended up going to high school in Tennessee. And then, and of course I wanted to beat them. So that was always my favorite game, especially since we never lost to them. And I just, when I watched that, The Believer that we were both in, that was such a cool show that was on the SEC network, and Kenny Chesney was the producer, and Coach Stoops, I don't think I had ever heard the story that he told, which of course was how Coach would take all the assistant coaches and all their wives over to Crescent Beach, a place that he and Jerry had been going to since they were in college, and they all went over there, and it was always the bye week right before we'd play Tennessee, and before we played them, I guess in '96. Coach Stoops tells the story of how he and Spurrier are out floating in the ocean, and Coach looks over at him and says, "Stoopsy, you think those Tennessee coaches are out floating in the ocean right now?" And I love that, because there's no way in hell they were out floating in the ocean, because they were too worried about how in the world they were going to finally beat Spurrier and beat the Gators. And Coach knew that. And so I painted that with the two of them floating on inner tubes out in the ocean, out there in the Atlantic. And I don't know. I love that one. And Brett Fragale actually bought that one, Shane.
Wow. Yeah.
Brett.
That's
and there's another guy who's that was his favorite piece. And I'm actually, one of my next paintings that I'm going to start is he and his wife have commissioned one. Pretty much the same story, and I'm looking forward to painting that again. Is there one that stands out to you?
No, that was the one I was thinking, because I tell people all the time, because your dad was a grinder, he was a coach, you've been around coaches your whole life. There's nobody like Coach Spurrier, and nobody during the middle of football season takes their staff to go hang out at the beach to get away from football, because everybody else is grinding till 2:00 in the morning in their meetings. But that's the one I thought you would say, because that's one of my favorites, no question about it.
Yeah. And as you know, and many other coaches can appreciate, just the simple fact that he wouldn't script practice, just like show me cover 2 over there, rather than these coaches and these assistants that spend just hours and hours and hours scripting out what exactly they've got to see in practice to get ready for that weekend. That's what blows my mind.
Braun71 says here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. I bought my nephew a Jack Pyburn jersey last year, but now it has Bates nameplate on the back.
Is Ron 71 in town? Because he hasn't called me. That's yeah, no, I like, you know what? That to me, Shane, that to me is when you talk about Jack and him going to LSU, like, you know, when talking about my art, look at all the people that support me and support my art, that, you know, just the Gator love is kind of where it starts. And I just, you know, a lot of these guys that are just, you know, transferring back and forth and end up at 3 different schools, and they've got all these people pulling them in different directions. I just hope that there's somebody out there explaining, like the James Bateses of the world, that, you know, when you show love for your whole time, it means something now, that, you know, where someone's going to stick around for 4 years. People appreciate that. And when you're rented for a year, I mean, is LSU, are they going to, you know, have love forever for somebody like that? As you know, and you know, not to mention when you leave a school, yeah, you know, they kind of appreciate. But I just hope that all these guys, and not just Jack, but just, you know, that they realize that, you know, it may or may not be an NFL career for you, but there's something to be said about the love that these people show you and share with you of staying true to a school. And I understand how tough it is. It must be really tough to you know, turn down a lot of that stuff that's floating around out there. But gosh, it's you got to think about the long term too.
Yep, no question about it. And your family's is a great example. Wife swam, kids swam here. You guys are diehard Gators. No question about that. Before we get you out of here, Mike on Facebook Live says you need to bring Luther back. Any thoughts about that?
You know, my son was telling me that Jake was telling me that I should do a Luther cameo. You know, how you can do like the birthday greetings and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
You know, I think that it would be kind of fun. Tina would be pissed off. My wife, you know, she hated Luther. And so, like, I can't even imagine what it would be like. And like, all right, I'm going to go down to my studio and record 5 Luther Ogle videos. And I'm down there like screaming, "Go Vols." I can only picture her up in the kitchen rolling her eyes. And, you know, that's where FML, that's where that was invented. It was with her and Luther Ogle, I think.
That's hilarious. Hey, is Jake still doing being a captain and all that stuff?
He is, yeah.
Okay,
He's all over the tarpon right now.
I want you to throw out how they can get in touch with Jake, because I've had people reach out to me from around the country that listen to this program, that come up that way to the Amelia Island area, wanting somebody to take on fishing.
Well, Jake's their guy, that's for sure, man. He is, because right now the tarpon are in, and he loves his favorite is to go after the tarpon. And he's actually going to fire school. So he's training to be a firefighter. I should say he went and did his EMT part of it just here recently and graduated from EMT school. And then, you know, a lot of his classmates went right on into fire school, but he wanted to make sure that he got to fish tarpon season. So he'll do that in the late fall or January is when he'll start fire school, just so he could fish the tarpon. But thanks for asking about that. Muy grande, like very big in Spanish. MuyGrandeFish.com is his website. And then he's Captain Bates on Instagram. But he's doing good. I'm proud of him. And I sure miss seeing Luke around. He and Luke those guys used to fish like crazy together. Yep. Your son, and I hope he's doing well up in North Dakota.
He's doing great. Batesy, I appreciate your time. Again, Thursday night at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, we will get to check out his new painting for Todd Golden and their national championship. Bates, tell the family hello. Appreciate your time, my friend.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Good talking to you, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. I'll be the one that looks like me.
as Gator great James Bates join us on the Titan No More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Injuries occur whenever and however, and it's never convenient for sprains, strains, or minor fractures. UF Health Orthocare makes it convenient for you 7 days a week, including evenings, and walk-ins are welcome. That is UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. They're having like a reception and all that stuff. So I think it's at SpurriersGridirongrill.com or Spurriers. I don't even know where the website is. You can buy your tickets. If not, it's Thursday. I'll have all that information for you tomorrow if you're interested in going. Appreciate everybody chiming in. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Take care.